Welcome to the Green and Gold Weekly here at thegruelingtruth.net, where the legends speak. I'm Joe Pritchard, and with me is Don Horn. And Don, we got so close.
Yeah, we got close. We couldn't. As I said, I think on one of my Facebook things, I said we ran the table, Joe, but unfortunately we scratched the 8 ball.
Yeah. And you've been saying over the past month that football's getting mistakes. And the Packers uncharacteristically made the mistakes early on that put them in a huge hole that they just never could climb out of.
Yeah, that's true. And then I tell you, from the get-go, I don't know. I mean, everybody saw that game. I was just totally taken back. I mean, I've seen Atlanta play this year in person. They're good. But that offense was clicking on all cylinders, and it looked like, with the injuries and stuff, I mean, you make excuses, but, to be realistic, I mean, we needed a mash unit on our sidelines, it looks like. All the injuries and stuff that we had. But that offensive of the Atlanta Falcons, it kind of reminds me of the St. Louis Rams offense back around the year 2000, the greatest show on turf, those quick passes and Matt Ryan getting rid of that ball so quick, and he has so many different receivers. He distributes that ball to so many different receivers, it's kind of hard to stop him. Then our cornerbacks being out and stuff, it's just, we did everything we could, but it looks like they just weren't mentally ready. Maybe they're just beat that, winning 8 straight like they did and coming out of nowhere and winning, going to the championship game. That's a pretty nice, tribute to them and a nice way to finish the season. Too bad we just couldn't put it away. But
yeah, when you come from 4-6 and do what they did, it's got to be hard being on top of your game, knowing that every game could be your season for that long. Hard enough to do that when you're 13-3 and cruise to a first-round bye, knowing you got to knock off 3, much less going through and having to basically play a playoff game starting from week 12 all the way through the rest of the season.
Yeah, that's true. And then to be, playing on, at the top of your game all the time, and then getting, to be having a lucky break or a fortunate key play at a key time to get by a couple of those games too. I mean, but I tell you, I mean, it was sad to watch. I mean, it was sad to see them play, like they did. And I was talking to Jerry Kramer a couple of days ago about that game, and he said, Don, that's what we used to call an old-fashioned butt whipping, They just got their fannies whipped, and it's just it's kind of hard to swallow. But on the other side, just as you said, it's coming back from a 4-6 record to finish like they did. Pretty strong tribute for them, I think.
Yeah, and it's almost easier to just deal with the fact that they just weren't good enough on a given day, rather than to have so many opportunities slip through their fingers and lose by a couple points, like has happened over the past few playoff rounds. You never want to lose a playoff game ever, but
no.
it's one thing to let one give one away. It's another thing to just go out there and not be the best team that day.
Yeah, and they weren't, and who knows? That's the shoulda, woulda, coulda type of effect. Jerry said the same thing I did. Who knows what the game outcome would have been, or I think would have been a lot closer if we hadn't have fumbled, inside the 10-yard line when we were driving down the score. And early on, what was that? About halfway through the first quarter or something. And
I won't have. Put it this way, I won't have nightmares about that game for months.
Yeah.
That was that, and move on.
Yeah, that's one of the key plays, the 4 or 5 or 6 plays during a game. They say, we talked about it before that determined the outcome of the game or the momentum, and that was one of the key plays when that fumble occurred. And things happen at an inopportune time. Just bad, but. That's behind us. We've got to get ready for next year now.
Yep, next year, of course, it's always a good thing to look forward to next year, because next year you always have a good feeling about next year, no matter who you are or where you finished the year before.
Yeah, and they finished strong. They got nothing to be ashamed about. Nothing to be ashamed about at all. And now I'm going to, I'm pulling for the Falcons.
Yeah, I have no reason not to. Make it worth our while here. And we had to watch the game on Sunday. Finish the job now.
Yeah, if you're going to lose the championship game, you might as well lose to the team that goes all the way. Anyway, that's it was sure. God, I was, it kind of ruined my afternoon. Ruined my afternoon. Oh shoot! But what can you say? They had some good plays and good efforts and stuff. But Aaron can't do it. One player can't do it himself, and everything. They just looked like they weren't ready. They just looked like maybe they were ready Saturday, or but I don't know. They just weren't. They just weren't quite ready for the game, and maybe they're just mentally spent, mentally burned out, or whatever. But then again, Atlanta, they're a fine offensive football team. They're an explosive team. That offense is something. So it'll be a great game in the Super Bowl here in a week and a half or a couple of weeks. That's for sure. It should be a good game.
Yeah, it's one of those things where the Packers personnel did not match up well with Atlanta either. Atlanta had a lot of advantages as far as their receiver talent. Their game plan was top-notch against the defense that the Packers had. I don't know. You rerun that game, you play it 10 times, and I think the Falcons score 30-plus, 40, or maybe even up to 40 most of the time. So they had our number, I think.
Yeah, they were ready. They wanted, and then and playing in their home field. At that level, they say home field is anywhere 6-7 point advantage if you're playing on your home field, and boy, Atlanta took that 6 or 7 point advantage they have, and they just jumped on it right away. No doubt about it. I hate to say it, but the better team won Sunday. And we have to lick our wounds and go home with our heads held high and move on. Just learn from it and move on. But great season, and some great memories, some great efforts, some good ball players, some great ball players on that team, and next year they just got to make sure they order. Hopefully they. They can order some more, some Band-Aids and stuff, and order a whole bunch of Red Cross type things, and not use them next year like they had to use it this year. It's so many injuries this year to overcome.
Yeah, that is for sure. Losing Sam Shields off the top, Eddie Lacy pretty quickly into the season too did not help matters. We did discover Tom Montgomery though. And we did discover that Ladarius Gunter is a talented corner. He got more of a chance to play. And he seemed to take the top role away from two guys that were drafted highly. So there's always a few silver linings behind things here, but hoping that next year's a little bit less on the injury front and a little bit more so the Packers find what they need off season and come in the next season helmet.
Yeah, and then I'll be there next year, watching a game or two and pulling for them in person, and hopefully be at the Super Bowl, next year, and they go to the Super Bowl. That'd be 50 years from I think the time I was in it. Gosh, it's hard to believe I was in Super Bowl II. I was in the Super Bowl II team. Boy, that's a long time ago. Wow. I tell everybody it was 40 pounds ago.
That's it. That's a pretty remarkable thing. Now we're going from Super Bowl II. We're talking about Super Bowl 51, Super Bowl 52 next year. But you guys have an event going on down in Houston this year for the Super Bowl, correct?
Yeah, we have some things going on in the Super Bowl with the outfit I'm with. The premier regenerative stem cell where we've helped a lot of former athletes, NFL players, and we have some presentations down there. In fact, Jerry Kramer is on our advisory board of directors. Lance Allworth, Mike Golick, quite a few former players that are on that. And we do a lot of things where we try to help older guys with their own stem cells. Use your own stem cells from your own body. Help it heal. Help the body heal itself instead of invasive surgeries or replacements and stuff. And it's virtually painless, and the recovery is fast, and it's just amazing what your adult stem cells can do at this day and age. So, and we're affiliated with the National Football League alumni, and trying to get involved with the Players Association, and eventually trying to convince the NFL itself to make it part of the benefit package for retired players as another avenue to look into, rather than just having a knee replacement or a shoulder replacement or a hip replacement or whatever. It's a very viable alternative to medicine today, and it also helps with neurological diseases. It helps in recovery and slowing the process of certain things, they say, like Parkinson's and MS, fibromyalgia, and other things. It's just amazing what the stuff, this state-of-the-art science today, what it can do, what they find with what your own stem cells can do. So just amazing. So yeah, we're going down next week, and I was hoping to be down there for the game and watch the Packers, but since the Packers aren't going to be there, I don't know if I'm going to stay for the game or not now. So we'll see.
Yeah, a little bit less of a need to feel like he had to go to the game in that case. But glad to hear you guys got things rolling here. Now, is there a public event on that, or is that just with the group?
Pardon me? Is there
any sort of public event associated with what you guys are doing, or? It's a public event, and then we're also going to be on Radio Row a lot too, and that's kind of a private type thing. But we're going to be at some events down there. It's with the Gridiron Greats and the Impact. That's called After the Impact Fund. And Gridiron Greats was actually started by Jerry Kramer and Mike Ditka. And it's an assistance fund where they take the proceeds, it's a charity, and then we distribute it to former players in dire need that need help, them and their families and that type of thing. So we have some events planned down there. One of them is the Mike Ditka and Ron Jaworski's, they call it the Cigars with the Stars party. It's what it is. We're going to 2 or 3 parties. Dan Pastorini's on the advisory board. He's got a big event down there next week, and it's just a big kind of gathering, Super Bowl parties, different days, and they just raise money for charities, and then we distribute accordingly, to the various 501c3 charities that we represent. Excellent. Well, if any of our listeners are down there in Houston for the big game, go ahead and check those out. Sounds like it's a good time and raising money for a good cause. Yeah,
it's raising money for a great cause, and then. We also raise money for not only former athletes and their families and stuff, but we also raise money for military veterans that need some type of procedures and that type of thing that can't afford it. The VA necessarily won't pay for it sometimes, at least not in a timely manner. So we take some of those funds and pay for procedures and treatments for those type of people too. So it's a great cause, and and the good thing about it helps people, it benefits people. You feel good when you can help somebody feel better and have a better quality of life, and that's what we try to do.
Great. Well, I want to make sure that our listeners got to hear about that. Hopefully some get involved.
If people want to find out about it, it's they go to the website. It's prstemcell.com. prstemcell.com, and they can find out more about it. That'd be great.
Perfect. All right. Well, I guess the one last question I had for you this season, then, you've been at the end of many seasons in your career, and they all feel different, even, I'm sure, whether you were successful or not in your goal. But when you haven't fulfilled what you're looking for, what's that feeling like? Cleaning out the locker that next day.
Yeah, it's tough. You reflect. You do a lot of reflection. you reflect and you always think about the things that you could have done, you should have done, and didn't do or whatever, and then you kind of get ready and hopefully you come back next year and make the team and contemplate. Sometimes on a game like if it could be a long season depending on how you look at it if you let it linger too long, but you just have to learn from your shortcomings and get better and stronger from it and reflect upon it and work on your weaknesses in the off season and get ready to come back next year bigger, faster, and stronger.
I guess there's really all there is to that with our pack too. We just gotta hope that the guys that come back a little bit faster, a little bit stronger, and maybe make the one final step to get to the big game next year.
Yeah, like I said, we get some extra duct tape and super glue to keep those bodies together so they don't get injured.
All right. Well, I guess there's really not a heck of a lot more else to talk about this week unless you have any final thoughts.
No, I just, great season. I would hold our heads high. We did win the division, and nothing to be sad about. Once a Packer, always a Packer. Gold, green, and gold. I mean, we have to, go Pack, gold, green, and gold, and get ready for next year. And everybody loves the Packers. Everybody loves the Packers. Yeah, America's team. Yep. That's America's team, right?
That's what it sounds like to me.
Yeah.
I know another team likes to claim that, but I don't think they got.
Well, yeah. There's one team in Texas that always claims that, but that's they're from Texas. What do you do?
Yeah. They like to talk big down there. That's for sure. Right. But I'm sure over the course of the off season, we'll hook up a few times to talk about the goings on with the Packers. But as for now, the weekly portion is going to slow down just a bit with a little bit less to talk about. But we'll be back over the course of the off season, and next year we'll get right back rolling once the games start.
Sounds like a game plan. Appreciate it.
All right.
Good luck. Go Pack and get ready for 2017-18, right?
Yep, exactly. Hopefully that's the winner for us.
Okay, sounds great. Okay, Joe, thank you very much, and thank you to the Packer Nation, the Green and Gold Nation.
Absolutely. And for Don Horn, my name is Joe Pritchard, and I want to thank you again for listening to the Green and Gold Weekly this season at thegrowingtruth.net, where the legends speak.